Happy.
Determined.
Optimistic. It gives me a sense of accomplishment, closing a chapter in book just so I can open a new one. Being the first graduate, from high school, from college, and my family, it means a lot to my parents. It sets a big example to my little brothers.
I feel very grateful, very honored, very blessed. It's been a long time coming and had my ups and downs. I'm finally here, so I'm very blessed.
Been working really hard to get here for a while. I'm a little bit older than most of the other graduates, so it's certainly feels like a long time coming, but finally here and it feels amazing.
Like this huge accomplishment, this dream that we've worked for so long is finally here.
But it's just something I picked up that I needed to accomplish in order to feel like I actually did something for myself and not just quit.
Honoring the past at El Paso Community College is really looking at the legacy of the institution. This institution was created in 1969, opened for classes in 1971. Dr. Los Santos was one of the first, if not the first, Latino community college president named in the nation. The fact that we were serving such an underserved community that did not have access to a community college, the fact that this institution has reached great heights in the past is just a real opportunity for us to honor the great work that has been done at this institution.
The college was the idea of Albert Horowitz, who was Joe Christie's father-in-law. They had toured a community college in Corpus Christi, I believe it was, and Albert Horowitz, who was an industrial man, thought we needed a community college very badly in El Paso.
We happened to have a very, very progressive state senator by the name of Joe Christie. He saw that community colleges were doing great things in other parts of the state, so he did everything that was necessary to promote a community college in El Paso.
The citizens of the county needed a community college to expand educational opportunity to a wider range of students, many of whom could not go to the university.
There was an effort to really get started, and it was put on the ballot. It was a two-part ballot. One was to establish a community college, and one was to fund the community college. The first one passed, to establish a community college, but the second one did not. With the effort from Senator Christie, who found the resources for the state to fund the community college, but we still didn't have the funding to build the facility.
The dean of the University of Texas organization that trained community college administrators recommended Alfredo de los Santos as the man we ought to talk to about the job. We brought him in and interviewed him and offered him the job, and he accepted.
That first year, we had an enrollment that first semester of 901 students.
My professors constantly were talking about El Paso Community College. I'd never been to El Paso, and they were talking about Dr. De Los Santos and how he was bringing a college out of nothing with no money, and he was very innovative. He was bringing in really smart, idealistic teachers, and so I wanted to be a part of that.
I've never seen anything like that. They were gung-ho. They just had the spirit that was needed for that. And they wanted that college to happen, and it did.
I remember how excited I was to work at a college that was just starting. That was very exciting.
We did not have buildings for the college. The administration had rented or leased for a 5-year period a number of old military buildings, military training facilities in a place called Logan Heights.
My earliest memories was Logan Heights, going in and rocks, the barracks and the rocks, and thinking, okay, well, this is where I'm going to interview for the first time.
So in barracks, we had our classrooms, the bathrooms, the administration building. The registration was in another one. We had one that was reserved for meetings. We had good rapport between the teachers and the students.
What I remember is the students. They were different than what I had been used to teaching. Many of them were married. They were single parents, yet they were working full time. They had it difficult. I could not understand how they could work, have a family, and attend college.
Most of my students were veterans, most of them having just come back from the Vietnam War.
Most community colleges got started is because the veterans that came back during the Vietnam era, could go to school and receive their GI Bill and benefits. And so a lot of community colleges got their starts at military installations and so forth.
It was a dynamic start. Everybody wanted to teach, everybody was happy, everybody was gung-ho.
Well, I played the organ for the first graduation, and that was in 1973.
The first graduating class that I spoke to was very memorable. It was a great moment because we built the thing and this was the result, the kids getting an education and getting a degree.
Being the first class was an avenue for attaining that dream that I had to be a nurse. I did this. I'm a nurse. I have taken this step to be what I was dreaming to be.
In 1974, we were trying to establish a campus in the downtown area. We hadn't quite found the money to do that, but through a couple of efforts, one being Project Hope, which allowed us to establish 12 of the health occupations programs, as well as a grant from the VA, which allowed us to purchase the building, we were able to get the Rio Grande campus started.
One of the biggest fears that I had when I started was that I was a little bit older, and you just feel like you lose your step, I guess. But in reality, it's all effort. I mean, once you get here, actually life experience is what pushed me to do a lot better than I thought I would.
Even though I had my moments of doubting where I just thought it was never gonna happen, or I had even moments of bouts of sadness, I still had that little voice keep pushing me, keep striving, and then that determination got me here to this point.
We had this idealism, this idea that we can create a college for the community. It's a community college. Everybody can come if they can qualify with the state test and things like that.
Believe it or not, there was a segment of the community that totally opposed having a community college.
The whole college participated in some community organizations, and everybody was given different precincts to walk and to call. And I recruited students. Outside of class, I would talk to them. And so I got 30 students, and I said, what we need to do is we need to walk the precinct the day of the election. And we worked all day. And they were so good, my students.
The property owners did not vote to pass the bond issue.
The League of United Latin American Citizens, of which I became a member in 1957, education was a priority. We were part of the ones that sued.
We joined in that lawsuit that challenged the constitutionality of that whole thing of not letting non-property owners vote on taxes, even though they indirectly pay with increased rents and other things. We joined in with the, I forgot, maybe it's Fort Worth or whoever was appealing the constitutionality. Of course, the Texas Supreme Court said, no, it's okay. Don't count the non-property owners. And then that went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, no, that's not okay under the Equal Protection Clause. Count them both. And then when they counted all the fours in both groups, then we passed and off we went.
I still get goosebumps when I remember when we broke ground at Valle Verde and then when we saw the campus. I mean, it was just beautiful.
And so after we'd been offering classes for a while, of course, our original accreditation happened in 1978, where we received our accreditation from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And that's been a priority. That's one of the things that differentiates us from other colleges is our accreditation status. And so we've maintained that to this day.
And so when we went out to Trans Mountain, we had one room completed, and that's where all the faculty, we had a desk, and the administrator was there, and that was that was it. And then our only classrooms were the portable classrooms. And then as the building began to get built up around us, then we had more space. Yeah, Jim Langford was the chief architect. Wanted to try to capture the skyline of the mountains. That's what he was really going for. He decided, well, if I get Trans Mountain, I'm going to make it my dream campus, and he did. And it was a wonderful place.
Will those students graduating with a grade point average of 3.25 or higher please stand?
People who helped me get to this point was my family. My family, always with their positive attitudes towards me and their encouragement. They always told me to just continue even when it's hard and even when you want to give up.
My teachers, my classmates, and I think most importantly my parents and my family.
A lot of support from family and friends. A lot of people constantly telling me that you can do everything, that you're awesome, you're strong.
1, 2, 3.
And so we got the grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. I started the Arts Festival. Our third expansion Arts Festival was in 1978. Because we had Folklorico there, I introduced the people to Carlos Montoya's Huapango.
Since I'm Mexican-American, very proud of my heritage, I started that. And so when I started my Folklorico, it already gave me a jump-off road for the future. And that's what I did. And I started my international Folklorico from the confidence I developed with the community college. And the community college Folklorico was one of the first ones in El Paso.
We have a small business development center at the college, and they provide workforce and business training for startups or businesses that want to grow. So that came to the college in 1980, and it's incredibly successful. We have a customized training department that will work with local businesses on training programs that are particular to their businesses. In 1990, we created the Advanced Technology Center. These days, as part of the master plan project that we're doing, we're coupling the diesel program, electrical program, robotics program as part of the ATC.
We were fortunate enough, we received an Economic Development Administration grant, and were able to build the first building on a brand new campus, which was the Northwest Campus.
It became pretty evident over the years that the growth to the east of the city was going to accelerate, and so the process began to create a campus on the far east side of El Paso, and that led to the creation of the Mission El Paso campus.
By now, Valle Verde, Trans Mountain, Rio Grande, the Northwest Center, Mission, we were needing a central administrative building.
We did build a library on the Northwest Campus. At the time, President George W. Bush was in office. His wife, Laura Bush, her mother actually lived in that community called Canutillo, Texas. And so we had the opportunity during that time to dedicate the library as the Laura Bush and her mother in their name, and had them both come back for it.
And of course, there's been a long-standing need for health programs in the city.
The Rio Grande Border Health Clinic, students from almost all of the allied health programs will go there. So it gives them that exposure to the medical side of things. The Rio Grande Border Health Clinic also takes patients from the community.
Our president at the time, Dr. Richard Rhodes, saw an opportunity for us to bring all of the hospitality type programs together in the B building here at the ASC. We also had a new culinary program, and it became pretty evident to us early on with the growth of those programs that they were going to need new facilities. We started with 11 students in culinary arts, and now we've got over 600 students in that program. It has grown tremendously.
I had already been baking cakes outside of my home. I met somebody who used to teach here part-time, and I showed him, what I had done as far as my cakes and where I was going, and I expressed an interest to learn more, although I thought it was a little too late since I'm near my 40s. But he looked at my work, and he thought that I had a talent and encouraged me to come to school, that it wasn't too late to really sharpen my skills.
At EPCC, they kind of reach out for the students. They know that some students are struggling, and they'll get out of their way and reach out a hand to you.
I like that the classes are smaller and they're not huge classes, so it feels a little more personal when you are at EPCC.
Since maybe it's not like a big university, they can take more time with the students and you can really talk to your counselors. They can really be there for you.
EPCC is the best place to start and finish because it prepares you for the real world, but they also guide you along the way. And, they check up on you, they ask if you're doing okay. They don't just throw all this work on you and expect you to sink or swim. They throw you a life preserver and make sure you're doing okay.
She's one of the pediatric instructors. My husband was active duty military. My husband passed away in November. She was a huge supporter. She constantly texted me to make sure that I was doing okay. I would not be here graduating today if it was not for her.
The early groundwork for the foundation started in 1996, and it was actually formed in 1999. The purpose is to promote college access, college enrollment, and completion for EPCC students. The foundation over the past 10 years has really grown, and I'm proud to say that we've been able to be consistent in raising over $200,000 a year for scholarships.
We've been awarded for the last 8 years the HEAT Award, and it's National Diversity Award, which El Paso Community College has been the recipient for. This will be the 8th year. And I think if you look around the campuses, we celebrate diversity. We're a leader when it comes to diversity.
The fact that El Paso Community College has been ranked first in the nation, not in Texas, not in the Southwest, but first in the nation in awarding associate degrees to Latino students, we're so proud of that distinction, so proud of the work that our faculty and staff do to facilitate that, so excited that we're serving this community, serving the state, and ultimately serving the nation by helping this fastest growing population, also underrepresented in higher education, receive the degrees and certificates that they need to be successful in this community, in this state, and ultimately in this nation. Dual credit programs at El Paso Community College allow students who meet the requirements, they have to be college ready, to earn college credit at the same time that they're earning high school credit. The Early College High School program at El Paso Community College is known nationally for our dual credit and early college high school programs. These students that apply for the program to provide an opportunity for these students to earn up to an associate's degree while they're still in high school.
Well, UTEP has for a long time had a very close and trusting partnership with El Paso Community College. And so we trust the quality and rigor of the work that the community college does. We've learned to trust it by looking at data. We know that students who transfer from El Paso Community College with coursework in whatever area you might want to look at are prepared to succeed at UTEP.
Now, El Paso Community College is known because over 74% of these students receive their associate's degrees before they graduate from high school. The national average is just over 24%. So our early college high schools, they are 3 times as successful as the national average of early college high schools.
As part of our efforts surrounding partnerships, we took a look at some of our programs and realized that our architect students who were in our program here had no opportunity to actually become architects by staying in El Paso. Students would have to travel typically to Lubbock, to Texas Tech or some other city to become an architect and finish that degree. We began to forge a relationship with Texas Tech University. Ultimately, we filed a joint application to create a architecture facility. And now we're proud to host the joint Texas Tech EPCC architecture program at our Valle Verde campus in their gorgeous facilities.
When I started this program here, I didn't have the financial resources to move to a 4-year university. And although everybody said it wasn't miraculous, for me, it was almost divine that halfway through the program, Texas Tech brought a 4-year degree here. I'd like to take this time to thank any professor of mine, whoever took the time to mentor and teach me. I surely wouldn't be here without you.
EPCC has a long history of meeting the needs of the community, and we realized early on that first responders were incredibly important to our community. And understanding the need, in 2000, we opened up the Law Enforcement Training Center at our Mission El Paso campus, only a couple of years after that campus opened. Fire training was incredibly important, We didn't have enough firefighters to man all of the fire districts in the region. We started offering the fire training courses, and over the years that program has grown as well.
Once I started doing the clinicals for the EMT semester, it just inspired me, talking to all the firefighters. The first clinical I had, there was a lady firefighter. Her name was Anna at Station 5, and it just made me, she can do it, I can do it. And I see other women here on the job, especially at the TA, and I mean, it's pretty inspiring.
Everyone join me once more in congratulating all of the graduates.
Being able to go to college where you feel safe, where you feel like you're at home, where everybody welcomes you.
It just was the place that helped me find my way, I guess.
You can make great bonds with people, from your teachers, from the students, your classmates. I mean, this is always going to be in my heart. I'll miss it for many years to come.
It's incredibly important for students to be involved at El Paso Community College, and there's so many opportunities for them to be involved. Clubs and organizations, Student Government Association, athletics. We have men's and women's half marathon, both national champions this past year. We have men's and women's cross country. We have men's baseball. We have women's softball. We have cheerleading, which is an opportunity for students to become engaged. So I highly encourage students to look at becoming involved while they're on campus. Spend as much time as you can on campus, and these clubs, organizations, sports are an opportunity for you to do so.
With all the sports that come into the EPCC family, they must first be brought on by the students. In the fall of '94 and in the spring of '95, they brought baseball on. You have men's first, and then I believe in '97, '96, the ladies first started. And then in 2000, lacrosse country started. We won conference, which was the first conference ever held for our region, and that set the tone. What we do is we emphasize the academics in our athletic programs. Both the men and the women have earned academic teams of the years. The ladies have won twice, the men have won 5 times, and that's at the national level. At the region and conference level, I think the ladies have gone 8 in a row as a region academic team, and the men are lagging behind. They're 6 in a row.
EPCC does have a lot of activities where students can join based on their interest, whether for me it was theater and debate, to just find those people that you connect with and that can really help you excel academically.
You know, our first sweepstakes award was actually in 2003. That was the Bronze Debate Sweepstakes Award. After that, for 14 years, EPCC never took a sweepstakes lower than 3rd place. We were ranked 3rd in our division nationally on the community college level. And to know that we got our team to that level, and even as we advanced and we became a top national team, even competing against universities, that was always in the forefront. Don't worry about the trophies. Don't worry about the medals. Worry about being the best, most respected, most well-liked team.
I continued doing speech at another program after EPCC, but it was at EPCC where that hunger and that satisfaction of working hard and achieving the goal was really sparked, and the first time I could feel that, and I'm so happy that we did so well.
I joined student government. I was in the speech and debate team. I was in the theater club, and they all helped me become a better, more wholesome student. The thing that I was most proud of putting on the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship was all the things that I did through student government, helping open and run a food pantry for our students, all of the political forums that we did, all the town halls. Every time that we exposed students to issues, to politics, and that's what I was most proud of.
Vets support vets often. Oftentimes people don't understand that they need to have the camaraderie amongst themselves. They have stories that they share that only another veteran can understand and appreciate, because they have the same shared experiences. Because transitioning is very difficult, going from a very structured life to an unstructured life, and we're trying to help guide them through that and provide them an atmosphere where they can feel comfortable.
The school's gonna get bigger, more students. And we're already doing great things right now. I just can't imagine what's gonna happen in the future. It's gonna be even better.
I feel that Over the years, since I've been in El Paso, it's grown a lot, especially a lot with a variety of programs, and it's only going to continue to grow even more.
The future for EPCC, I think, would be just a lot more students motivated to go to college because of EPCC. There's going to be a lot more opportunities. So I'm really excited for the future of students to come to EPCC. I'm actually pretty jealous of it.
The things I'm most proud of is the hiring of Dr. Serrata. That decision the board made has really set the tone for the college now and for the future. He has brought in an enthusiasm, a work ethic, a vision that I think is contagious.
Student success was a huge part of his focus, and that's evidenced by some of the awards we've won. So in 2015, of course, we were named one of the top 10 community colleges by the Aspen Institute. Shortly thereafter, the next year, we received the American Association of Community College Student Success Excellence Award, and it's a credit to the leadership that he's brought to the institution.
And something that I'm very, very proud of is the growth that we're in right now. We're building 6 buildings on our 5 campuses, and there are classrooms and biology labs, and in one of them it's parking, which is very needed. But I think that's going to leave a legacy of student success and the opportunity for much more student success.
Really building the future, I'd say, is twofold. We're actually building physical structures at our institutions to have the capacity to serve our students and the community well, and then really building and increasing the educational attainment level of this region. We understand that it's not us, we can't do it alone, but we're going to partner with K through 12 and all of the independent school districts to create that college-going culture. We're doing it by adopting elementary schools, by having the expectation that all children will go to college.
I think what we've been able to do in the last 50 years of the college is to allow people who have not had the means to go to school to come to school and really, really become very successful and meet what they want to do in their life.
This is a community college. Community means every aspect of the community comes to our classes and is involved in our college in some way. It is the full spectrum of the community, and I love that.
And I think that's the greatest benefit that I've learned from this institution is being able to touch them in a small way and empowering them and telling them what they can do. I won't do things for you, but this is what you can do. And then when they come back or I receive the graduation invitations to attend their graduations and things like that, those are very, very rewarding for me. Or to see the student that didn't think they could do anything and they can.
There's no better reward for an instructor than to see their students succeed and to see how much good El Paso Community College has done. Because once we started with them and once they succeed at the community college, nothing is going to stop them.